because you were home. Showtime, folks. So I just got back from watching The Strangers Chapter 1. Now, if you're a fan of the Strangers franchise, there's not much new to be excited about when it comes to this movie, just to get that out there right out the gate. I personally, I don't hate the Strangers franchise. I actually enjoy it for the most part. I'm actually one of the people, I think, one of the few that likes Part 2 a little bit better than Part 1. Not for story building reasons or anything like that. I just like their use of music and how it feeds into the anxiety of the characters that you're following. I prefer it in The Strangers Part 2. I just think it's pretty cool and well used. But I digress. That's the Strangers franchise as a whole. We're here talking about The Strangers Chapter 1, which is, I gotta say, guys, it's gotta be more of a soft reboot kind of feel to this movie. So going in, I thought Chapter 1 meant this was like the first time that the Strangers have gone out and done something. And there's something to be said about that, maybe. I did see a little bit of rust when it comes to what the Strangers are doing. They look a little bit, you know, not as confident in what they're doing as they do in the other couple of films in the Strangers franchise, but that might have just been me. But what I really think the title is getting towards, and now knowing that there's going to be sequels, and they've announced that already before the movie even came out, that there was going to be sequels to this one. Now Chapter 1 feels a lot more like this is just going to be like a trilogy, versus this being the first time that the Strangers actually go out on a hunt for people. And this story follows pretty much the same premise as the other Strangers movies, if you've seen any of them thus far. It's just, you know, family or couple stuck in a room, stuck in a house, and some unwelcome guests decided to let themselves in, and then chaos ensues. Now, starting off with the pros of this movie, they keep the formula pretty close to everything that's come before it. So if you're a Strangers fan, it's pretty much another Strangers movie. I can't say it's bad or anything like that. It's more of the same, and that's not a bad thing. You know, they have a lot of the stalking is still in this, as far as like if you're into like the silent kind of slasher that's just kind of watching its prey. It definitely is more geared to that kind of audience, you know what I'm saying? And the use of music is also in there, which is something that I enjoy. You know, they use it as a fear-inducing method against the people that they're following around. So I thought they did that well in The Strangers Chapter 1. And another thing I think they do well is just keeping the main three characters relatively the same. You know, it's just kind of like one of those things where if it's not broke, don't fix it. Stick to what you know people like. Fans of the franchise are there to see the Strangers, and they kept it pretty much the same. But that's pretty much where the pros end for me. It's not that anything else is really wholeheartedly negative. It's just that the Strangers is more of the same. And even me saying that the pros are keeping it the same, it's just because the other Strangers films, to me, are not terrible films. It's just they're average slashers, and this doesn't really reinvent the wheel in any type of way for the franchise, I don't think. But getting onto the cons, I don't know what it was about this couple, but it just felt like they were going to be like the most useless of the families and the couple that we've seen before. Like, these guys just were not survivalists at all. And that comes with some of the slasher territory. I get it. I mean, you always have people that make really dumb decisions. I guess that's part of the fun, but for me, it's frustrating when they're making absolutely dumb decisions. Like, somebody's in the house, you're trying to hide from them, you're sneaking around, and then you start talking in a normal volumed voice when you know they're still around you. That's not a spoiler. That's just me giving you a con. That's what I'm saying as far as like dumb decisions go. It's just the suspension of disbelief as far as that goes is... Getting on to another con is that they go from being not as smart as you would like them to be to being somewhat unlikable. Like, it's just kind of certain things that they say, line delivery or anything like that, it's just a little cringy, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, I just couldn't get behind this couple, you know, as far as like who the strangers are following around, and then, you know, you go from being like I said, not as smart as you want them to be, to making like a really smart decision out of nowhere. And it's just kind of a blink and you miss it kind of thing as far as the intelligence goes. But that's not necessarily all the actors' fault. Some of it's the writing, some of it's just the situation that they're in. But for me, it was a definite con, especially coming off of in the first Strangers, you have Liv Tyler, and she does a pretty good job in that one. And then The Family, I think, is more of a stacked cast, in my opinion, as far as the acting goes. Movie might not have been as strong in The Strangers Prey at Night, but I think the family dynamic is there, and it works a little bit better than what we see in The Strangers Chapter 1. But there's nothing too crazy bad about The Strangers. I think what we're walking into when it comes to The Strangers Chapter 1, what it is a soft reboot that's going to make a trilogy off of it. And I don't really see the need for that when you already have The Strangers Part 1, or The Strangers, the first Strangers. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it clear for description purposes. But when you already have a better film in The Strangers Chapter 1 could have strived to do something more with the characters. And understanding that part of the mystique is the fact that they're just random people breaking into random homes. There's something to that, and I get why they do it that way. But at the same time, where The Strangers is weak is that there's not much changing, not much drawing in a new audience as far as just changing something, reinventing the wheel a little bit, give us a little flair of something new. And for us that are returning, it's just more of the same. It's like, well, I've seen this movie before. It's cool, it's fun, but it doesn't really change anything for me. This isn't anything crazy. But is it bad? No, it's not terrible. So getting on to my rating is a 2.5 out of 5. So a 2 out of 5. So you're telling me there's a chance. There's a chance that you'll enjoy this movie. I think people that are already a fan of the franchise, The Strangers, will find something familiar about it and enjoy it. This is definitely a movie that you're gonna go in there and watch as far as like, oh, it's a new horror movie. You're gonna see that surge in the box office. I think The Strangers is gonna probably take the weekend just based off of who they're going against, maybe. Or they might not, you know, word of mouth might just draw people off. But I don't think it's a terrible film. This is just more so rated because it's more of the same. It's nothing new, reinventing the wheel. I had fun with it. I actually enjoyed sitting there and watching it, but I'm also a fan of The Strangers. Kind of one of those things where I just sat there and I was like, okay, that wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. So yeah, 2 out of 5. So you're telling me there's a chance. And that's fair. That's fair. They didn't change the wheel or anything like that. Masks are still cool. Top notch. But anyway, guys, what did you guys think of The Strangers Chapter 1? Have you seen it yet? Are you planning on watching it? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Disagree with what I'm saying? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't, guys, and you're new to the channel, make sure to like and share this video and subscribe, you know, because it's free. Just subscribe. And, you know, just hear me ramble about a few more videos. We're doing a couple new things. We have some stuff planned out coming up. I know it's a little brief hiatus, and but we're trying to get things rolling again. So make sure to like I said, like and share this video. We really appreciate it, and I thank you guys for all the comments you've left in previous videos. But let me know what you guys want to see next. Maybe even for a power pick, and just your general thoughts, guys. And if you do decide to like and share this video, just remember something my friend Tamara used to say, and that